Okay. Hello. So I was trying to say that I hope everybody is mute. I hope everybody is on mute. So I was trying to say that if we can help support businesses and startups within the region, then we would have helped to um, attract development and also attract talents to the region. And when you attract talents to the region, you're developing the human capital in the region, and you can never tell the level of innovation that can come out from here. So our guest today is okay. Already, some of you already know that the Angel Network was set up in order to support and mentor founders in the region. That Angel Network is called South Southeast Angel Network, or SSE Angel Network, or SEAN for short, as in SSEAN. For those of you who are not following SEAN already on social media, you may want to just go on SEAN Angels, SSE Angels. That's the handle on social media. So you can join, you can follow SEAN on social media, okay? Our guest today is a member of SEAN. I'm going to introduce him, but before I introduce him, I want to quickly drop, I'm going to drop a link on, I'm going to drop a link on the chat, on the chat, so that those of you who will be applying for the deal day, I'm sure you remember that there's a deal day for, SEAN has a deal day on the 25th of May, which is part of why we're having this webinar, to give you an idea how to apply. Some of you already have some fantastic businesses already, but some of you come short when it comes to applying or communicating your business. So the idea of this webinar is for you to understand how to communicate your business to an angel investor. Understand who an angel investor is, understand what drives them, and understand what they want from you, so that you can communicate your business in a way that they would be interested in your business. And that's the essence of this webinar. By the way, I'd like to announce that we will also have another webinar on Monday. Please, everybody, mute your mic, please. So I'd like to also announce that we will have another webinar on Monday. This time it will be with the founder of the Accra Angel Network. He's going to be discussing more about funding, angel investment and funding with us. So I would like to, I've just shared a link on the group chat with all of you. That link contains a slide. It contains some slides from one of my mentors, Tommy David, or TD for short. Tommy David created a framework called POEM, P-O-E-M, POEM.
Hello.
POEM. Yeah, please, just hang
Please,
on.
for those of us who are experiencing issues with the webinar, what do we do?
What kind of issues are you experiencing? What kind of issues are you experiencing? Okay, I'd like to also note that this webinar is being recorded, so we'll be able to share the link to the recording after now, so that you can play it back. Okay. So back to what I was talking about. The POEM framework allows you to understand how to communicate to investors. So go through the framework, and if you have questions, you can ask, or you can send a message or tweet. Send a message or tweet to us at Startup South NG, and we can follow up and resolve, and answer your questions, okay? The framework is self-explanatory. It tells you what you should be saying on your slides, when you should be saying it, and where you should be saying it. So, but I'm going to just introduce Mr. Emeka Okoye right now. He's going to take on from here and give us a brief overview of what angel investors are, who angel investors are, what they are looking for, and how you should relate with them. And then the floor will be open for your questions and your answers. If everybody is ready, can I quickly introduce Mr. Emeka Okoye?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Emeka.
Okay, so as Uche has said, my name is Emeka Okoye. I happen to be one of the angel investors that are part of the South Angel Network. South East Angel Network. So in summary, really, an angel network is the person that tries to finance startups between when they have proven their idea, but before they are viable enough for people to for them corporate start investing in them. So essentially, an angel investor is, to a large extent, somebody who has the propensity for risk, because most of those businesses in that time frame haven't yet started making quite revenue. So if you are investing, you really do not know whether the business plans or the projections that the startups have given you will work. But then what's the best? You might ask yourself, why do you think anybody will want to do that? Why? Because sometimes the startups actually turn out to be very lucrative. So what would have happened is that you would have reached some money at some point, but down the road, you'll be in a very good position to make a tidy sum. As to what exactly is an angel investor looking for, I'll give you that in two ways. One, I'll talk a bit about the field we talked about, and then after I'll tell you as my own personal experience. So there is a framework, POEM, which is POEM. Basically, what you need to, anytime you're in front of an investor, whether it's an angel investor or otherwise, you should be able to show the investor four things. What is your proposition? Which organization are you using to execute that proposition? Then what's the economics of that proposition that you are pitching to the investor? And briefly, you should also tell the investor what your key milestones are. So, but Mucha has sent you the link, so I'm not going to go into detail trying to explain all that, but just have it in mind that when you are sitting, somebody is sitting in front of you, listening to your pitch, you seriously need to think about, in a short while, how do you convince this person that the value you bring to the table is worth going after? How do you convince the investor that you actually understand your customers, you understand the people who, at the end of the day, will provide the money that will make the company successful? So that's the theoretical, you could say. Now, going to me as an angel investor, one of the things I look out for, critical to me, and if you give me that, the chances of my investing in you will be higher, which is somebody who says what he means. One of the character traits I find disturbing in startups is trying to present yourself as something you think I want to see. I like to see authentic people. I like to see people who actually present, well, no matter what stage of development they are, they show you to you as it is, no sugarcoating. So for me, one of the greatest, my own experience is when you know exactly where somebody stands, then you can be able to help the person to move from wherever the person is to where he or she wants to get to. So it is key that you are authentic. Another thing I look out for is people who are willing to learn. Because no matter what business idea you are pushing, no matter your level of development of the idea you are pushing, there is always something new to learn. So I look out for people who actually show clear signs of wanting to get better. Because even if you are in a bad position today, but you have the ability to learn and you actually learn, then in a few short years, you'll be much better than even those that were better than you before now. The other thing I also look out for is startups that have actually taken time to understand their customers. And it's key because sometimes what a lot of startups do is to they get a solution and then start looking for problems to solve, as against finding problems and then developing a solution for those problems that they have found. So in a nutshell, that's really my view on angel investing as an angel investor. So what I think I would do is to kind of open the floor for questions, and any questions you have, we can clarify or answer it for you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emeka. Prosper is already raising his hand. So anybody who wants to ask a question should raise his hand, just like Prosper is raising his hand right now. So Prosper, Topaz, mute your mic, please. Topaz Farms, mute your mic, please. Everybody mute your mic except you are talking, okay? All right, Prosper, you can go ahead and ask your question. Prosper. Prosper, do you have a question?
I don't think so. The hand has been up there when I entered the meeting, so I don't think so.
All right, Topaz Farm, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay. My question, you talked about the traits you look at for the entrepreneurs, and one of the things you said was sincerity, and that you like to invest in someone that actually knows, that someone that is sincere and knows where he is and where he wants to go to. So my question is, if you are just meeting me, I'm an agripreneur for the first time, and I pitched my idea to you, how do you know that I'm not sincere? Or is it like something you will have to study me for some time before coming to decide whether Topaz Farms is worth investing on or not? So the sincerity, what is your time frame in identifying that this person is sincere? Thank you.
Topaz, thank you.
Okay, so I'm sure you've met people in your life, and in less than 5 minutes, you've seen through the people. The truth of the matter is that if you are not sincere, it's pretty easy to find out. If I ask you 1 or 2 questions, the way you answer it will tell me whether or not you actually are sincere in what you are telling me. It's pretty easy to find out who is or is not. I don't have to spend a long time to find out. Yes, as a human being, there have been times maybe I misread a situation, but by and large, more than 95% of the time, after 5 minutes of discussing with you, I'll be able to tell whether you are a sincere person or not.
All right. Who has another question?
Thank you.
Any other question? So, Mr. Emeka, let me ask this question. So, from your overview, it's obvious that the angel investor is typically looking for a business that has some level of traction. Can you put is it possible to put a figure around the kind of, or put is there some numbers you can put around the kind of traction you're looking for?
It's a bit difficult to have one number because different sectors or industries will require different kinds of money. If you are focused solely on technology efforts, depending on what it is, your money, the money you might, or the monies you might have to have put in or you are bringing in might be way different than if you are doing manufacturing. So to some extent, it's a bit subject specific. Because one thing I do want to know, regardless of the number in terms of, oh, it's 1 million, 2 million or whatever, one thing I want to see that there's some traction in terms of how many customers are already using the service or the problem that or the solution the person is bringing to the table. The key thing to keep in mind is not necessarily about how much in terms of quantum, but it's about how you can prove, not by how you think it, but by actual facts of saying, for example, oh, I have this educational app I've developed and 10 schools are using it. Now that tells me something, that at least the customer sees it valuable. Oh, you might say, oh, I have this cassava product, that processed product I have. It's a bit like Gary. Oh, 10 markets, 20 markets are always asking me to bring it, which tells me that the customer sees value in the product. So it's really not about it's not really about, oh, you are making 5 million naira revenue now or 1 million naira revenue that really will interest me. Not really at this stage. I don't think it's about the money. It's more of the ability to prove the concepts that you are bringing to the table.
Thank you, Mr. Emeka. So let me try and maybe say it this way. You can also tell me if I'm speaking your mind. So it's not about the amount. It's about the consistency in the growth. So, for instance, you have a business that is doing an app, and every month on month, you can see that the more people are asking for what you have, and possibly even the people that are already using it are still coming back every month, or they are referring their friends, right? Something of that nature is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, really, to put it in another way, it has to show some form of acceleration.
Growth, yes.
Yes, it's not just growth, but some form of, because growth means this month you had 2 customers, next month you have 3 customers. No, I'm saying there's some indication that not only have you proven that customers actually need the service, but you have proven that more customers are beginning to see it, and there is that chance of takeoff. Because really, if an angel investor brings money, he's really supposed to be bringing money to help you grow, not to help you maintain where you are today. So if you haven't proven, I haven't shown a form of growth in terms of accelerating customers, then it will be difficult to convince the angel investor to bring money. You need a different kind of investor to work with.
All right. Any other question?
Okay, somebody is asking, is it wise to pitch an idea that have not been materialized to an angel investor who demands a good return on investment?
Okay, yeah.
The reality is, that's Valentine asked that. The reality is, if you have not proven your concepts, it is unlikely to whet the appetite of an angel investor. Because as much as the angel investor is or has money and is willing to risk it, he also has to be careful not to throw it down the drain. So there has to be some form of traction. It's advisable for you to have attained some form of traction before you start looking for an angel investor. Remember, in the stages of investment, you should have done what is called the stage of bootstrapping, where you are getting money, using your own money, using your friends' money, your family's money to try to prove the concept. So the angel investor really comes in when you have actually put the concept and it's looking like you are beginning to have traction. So his money that he's bringing in, and don't forget, it's not just money. He brings in money and he also brings in mentorship to guide you to get to keep getting better and improving on what you are doing. So it is not advisable, really. You have to have reached the point of proving the concept that you have come up with before you approach an angel investor.
Okay. Can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Okay. In the course of an angel investor investing in your business, I want to be clarified. Is it, when he's investing, what is he looking at? Is it to own part of the company, or there should be a percentage agreement of the profit sharing formula? So I don't want to get that clarified. When an angel investor invests, is it part of the company is investing to own, or a profit formula should be agreed on to be shared?
Typically, the angel investor is actually his interest is not necessarily to own the part of the company. His interest is to invest some money, and then after effort has been made, that value has been added, exits the company, a tidy sum. So now there are different structures that you can set up. Sometimes it is about saying, okay, I'm going to stay till till you get to IPO, then I will exit at that time. Sometimes it's saying, oh, the moment the next funding round, I'm going to exit at that point. So it all depends on the angel investor and the particular startup. What is your first sense? What you have to have in mind is the angel investor is looking to maximize returns on its investments, and in so doing, add value to that company where he has invested. So, but the way you structure it all depends on the angel investor and how or what he wants to get done.
Okay. Another thing, will it be considered unruly for you to demand from your investor, the angel investor, to have access to his network? Let's say you invested in Topaz Farms. Will it be unruly if I say, please, can you just talk about Topaz Farm in your network, or probably invite me to one or two of your meetings you have in your bigger network to talk about Topaz Farm? Will it be unruly or over demanding on your own part as an angel investor?
Personally, for me, I don't have an issue with that. Remember, like I said earlier, what the angel investor brings to the table is the money he's bringing, the network he has, and the mentorship he brings to the table. So anything you feel, because sometimes you might actually go to an angel investor without necessarily expecting him to invest money. Maybe because he has a network that is valuable to you, or he has some skills that you feel he can help you develop. So the different places I've invested, there are different, there's not just one way of doing it. There are several potential ways. So it's really dependent on the angel investor, the startup, and how both of them see their relationship progressing.
So Emeka, Mr. Emeka, let me just let me come in here. Topaz, essentially, what the angel investor comes in with is his network and his money. Don't forget that the angel investor now has a stake in your business, and he has interest in your business. So the idea is anything that can make the business grow as quickly as possible will be helping the angel investors' money in your business grow. So most angel investors, the value they bring to your business is not necessarily the cash they give to you. It is the network, and the assets that they give to you that is even more valuable than the money they bring. The mentorship, the network, and the assets, they are more valuable than the cash they bring. That's why they are angels, and that's why they invest very early before other forms of investors become interested in your business. So let's quickly go over to Eze. Let's go over to Eze. Eze, please go ahead. Eze, go ahead.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is good afternoon. My name is Eze Samuel.
Please speak up a bit. Speak up a bit.
My name is Eze Samuel.
Okay.
I'm the co-founder and CEO of Parkrowdy. Parkrowdy is the parking app preventing parking for the digital era. So I was able to join the meeting. I could pick out some points in which Mr. Emeka Okoye stated as an angel investor for reasons why he is going to choose a startup to invest in. One, he made mention of presenting yourself as being authentic, as the way it is your business is and who you are. Secondly, he made mention of being willing to
excuse me.
Three, he said, yeah, go on.
It might help you to turn off your video because you're struggling with bandwidth, and so maybe audio will come clearer. You can turn off your video.
Okay, I've done that. Okay.
So ask the question to be clearer.
Okay. So I was saying I'm Samuel. Eze Samuel. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Parkrowdy. Parkrowdy is the parking app preventing parking for the digital era. So far so good. I was able to participate in during the session. I was able to deduce few points from Mr. Emeka Okoye's points in which he gave to us earlier. For startups, he said one, we must present ourselves as being authentic, the way it is and who we are. So he said we must always be willing to learn. Three, he said understand based on everything he has said so far. Can we actually categorize investors based on okay, yeah, we know investors bring in their network, more like business angels. So, but now let's assume you want to move from a particular point state to another. Parkrowdy is in Abuja. You want to move to the east, like the likes of Enugu and others. Can we say we need an investor that has his own network reach within that location to be able to move into that location?
All right.
Hello?
Go ahead, Emeka.
Okay, so let me, I was struggling a bit with your audio, but I'll try to rephrase it. So if I get it wrong, kindly correct me. You are asking if you need an investor if you already set up well somewhere and you are trying to expand it to another place. Is that what you asked?
So Emeka, let me help, right? So what he's asking is this. So is it possible to say now that their company is based in Abuja, so they want to expand to the east? Can they say that they are raising money from an angel investor who has network in the east, so that it will help them to expand in the east? That's his question, really.
Okay, so now there are two things here. If you already set a fully established business with proven revenues, I'm not sure the angel investor will be your best bet for expansion. But it does not mean that you cannot pitch to people like me who could look at it and say, okay, as much as you have gone, you are much more stable, and decide for myself that, okay, maybe yes, after all, you remove some of the risk in what you are doing. So it might still attract me, but then what I'm bringing to the table might just be strictly just money. But do remember, like we said earlier, now the angels investors role, as much as it brings money, is not mainly just money. The major thing, two major things he's bringing to the table is his network and his mentorship. So if you really do not,
Yes,
if you really have your business running very well, I'm wondering how the angel investor might help you. It doesn't mean he might not invest in you. He could invest in you just like he could invest in any other company. But as an angel investor, your proposition to him is limited.
Okay, I got you quite clear. What I was actually saying is this. I didn't actually make mention of he investing money because I've been able to understand within the course of building Packard that it's not basically about investment of funds. There's emphasis must be placed on business angels. Those are people who would mentor you into growing your business. So what I was trying to say is it actually okay to bring in someone just because of the network and mentorship to move into a particular location
Oh,
in
yes.
terms of
Yes,
partnership?
Yes, it is.
it is.
Absolutely yes, you can do that. I mean, it's about strategy. Some people find out that there is opportunity for them, say, in the north, and they are based in the south. Some people go as far as appointing board members. You can appoint somebody as your board member because of the person's influence in the area that you're interested in. Okay, so that's perfectly. The person doesn't even have to be an investor. It can be a board. It can be a board member, right? For that to happen. All right. Who else has another question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Any other question? All right. So since there's no other question, may I remind everyone that you would need to apply for the Sean Due Day. Like I said before, you go through the poem. I shared the link before, so and I'm trying to share the link again. Go through the poem framework and see how you can structure your slides. Okay, structure your slides so that you can communicate better to the angel network. And I need for all of you to apply for the due day. From next week, the shortlisting will start happening. People, they will start shortlisting the people. Like I said before, the due day is an exercise. Not typically, it takes the angel network about 90 days to make a decision to invest in any startup, right? Because their process allows you to come pitch to them, and then they will deliberate within themselves and decide whether they want to hear you again. And if you come back again and you still impress them, then they will then set up a team to go and do some what is called deep dive in your company. And then after that deep dive, they will then sit down with you and then discuss terms, okay, the terms of investment. But on this particular date that is called deal day, you are more likely to walk out with an investment, with an offer of investment on that day itself. So every other thing that will follow after will be just formality on how to formalize the offer. So which is like cutting short the process it takes the angel network to invest in a startup. It is the reason why a lot of pre-vetting is going to happen before shortlisting. So I encourage all of you to apply. And to apply, I just shared the link by which you can apply. Is called bit.ly/Sean, okay? So you use that link, you apply. It will require you to upload your slide. Kindly upload your slide. From next week, the team responsible for shortlisting will start shortlisting the teams that will be invited. The deal day is happening in Port Harcourt on the 25th of May. Some of you can still stick around on Monday to learn even more about angel investors with Eric Apia from Accra Angel Network. Eze, this will be the last question because we're running out of time already. And please make it very fast.
Okay, thank you very much. I got everything. So for a startup like us that is operational in Abuja, that is based here in Abuja, moving to Port Harcourt, can we actually say it would be a good deal for us?
Okay, so Eze, I'm not in a position to answer that question because I don't know what your business is about. But I think that it's your responsibility to find out, to do a research and find out whether Port Harcourt will be a good place for you to grow your business. But if you want me to answer generically, I would say that moving to the south, it will be a good deal for any business because you don't have the kind of competition you have in Lagos and to a large extent Abuja in the south. So you're most likely to do well in the south, than want you to take you to do well in the other places. But
if I can come,
yes, go ahead.
The key thing is that you need to do is to do your own business plan and then look for who will support that. Don't let anybody essentially railroad you into doing what you don't want to do. The first and foremost thing you need to arrive at is, I find this valuable. Then when you find it valuable, then you go look for those who will help you execute your business plan.
Okay. So you can actually share parkrowdy.com.
Yes, parkrowdy.com. So I was saying it's not about the business plan. We're talking about business angels. We have all of those. We've done our due diligence. We've done everything. We're already acquiring parts, partnering with parts, signing contracts with parts already.
No, so what I'm saying to you really is this, right? You should. Okay, let's also add that any of you who is interested can join the WhatsApp community where we have this sort of conversation. There could be stuff like I'm sharing the link to the WhatsApp community, okay, where we have this kind of conversations, okay. You will be able to find out whether there are opportunities for you to move down this way, by relating with other people that are already operating here. Okay.
All right, thank you.
I just
share the WhatsApp listing. The time is almost up, so that
I've just shared it.
Okay.
So thank you everybody for joining. We have less than 60 seconds to go. So thank you all of you for joining. Hope to see you on Monday as well. We'll share the mails. We'll send mails to all of you. You perhaps would want to, if you like, send us a message on social media, and we can get your email address. And you can also sign up to a weekly newsletter we send out. It's called Wave Thread, because it has a lot of information and opportunities for startups. So it's called Wave Thread. I just shared the link to sign up on it. So you can sign up on the Wave Thread and you get additional information. All right, so it's time to say byes.
Okay, goodbye everybody.
Bye everybody.
Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Yeah, goodbye.